Hey guys, and welcome back to Sandustry Endless episode 10. Last time we nearly spent the whole episode, except one or two interruptions, building our huge mixer. We started by building the drop mechanism to mix cinder with red sand to create lava. Next came the gold storage and the connection with the mixer to create liquid gold. And last but not least, the sand storage and the chamber to mix it with liquid gold to create cinder. We ended the episode by building a huge launcher construction to get the cinder out. This is where we start today's episode, so sit back, relax and enjoy. Hey guys, it has been a while, but here we are to wrap up this whole series, hopefully, maybe, at least I hope we can do it today. The first thing I want to do is to change this right here, because I don't really like it. It's taking up so much space. So let's just delete most of this. And how do we want to get this up? We can copy this and go like somewhere around here. And go like this, I would say. Or maybe like this, one more down. Should do the trick. Close this off. And copy this all the way up to the top. Somewhere up here we want, at least, like this. And put a belt, maybe 2 space left should be fine. Build a wall and copy this. Okay, so this gives us a lot more space right here. And also we can do something right here. Yeah, like that. We are gonna throw all the cinder that is coming from down here onto these launchers. So these are not connected right now, which is kind of fine. We need a belt down here and copy this right here. So, because pixels are getting launched and immediately go into this launcher and getting launched up here. And once this is filled up, which by the way is gonna be a little bit of a struggle maybe, because we only have 4,000 red sand and 4,700 cinder. And I don't think this is gonna be enough to fill all this up, especially like these little boxes. And let's see how this is gonna work out. But at least this should be fine right now. So preferably all the cinder goes up here and going back into the system again. And once this is overflowing, the overflowing cinder is gonna fall down here. And we might... how do we want to do this? Maybe put like a wall right here. And from here we can collect all these cinder. I think this should actually be a pretty good idea. So we want the belt somewhere around here. And all the cinder that is overflowing is gonna get converted into red sand. So let's start here with our shakers. And this should be way more than enough. And then we can block this off and allow only, or block only snow. And And this should already be fine, maybe, hopefully. We eventually will need 3 pixels height of red sand, but I would say we limit this a bit later. Also, eventually we're gonna produce 4 pixels height of amethyst, and we only want 25% of that to turn into ash. So up here we actually gonna build something else. So let's allow only cinder. Like 5 space is more than enough. We wanna put lava into that. We have a bit lava left. And this is enough. Lava goes down here. Okay, this is gonna vanish. So what this is gonna do, we are gonna connect this right here. And like we could remove all of this down here, but yeah, we are gonna let this stay. But we are gonna move all the petals up on this belt. And like that, we only gonna turn the lowest pixel into ash. And once we are gonna get until here maybe, we're gonna let the ash through. And this should already do the trick. And we can launch the petals like down here. This should be it. We only will have to connect these. So petals are gonna come down here. So maybe it is time to remove all of this sand storage to get a bit more space. Remove all of that. And maybe, yeah, actually what we could do is just move this down like to the bottom. We can block all of this for now. And I guess let's just move all of this, copy it for now, and put it here, I would say. Actually, we could make this a bit, a bit shorter by removing this. And this should do the trick. Can delete this now. Of course, we have to block this off. Well, maybe that was the reason why we had this a bit more space. So let's try to launch it up like this and connect it like that to get more room to not overflow all these pixels. And yes, I think this looks good to me. We then, of course, will need an importer right here. And now we should be able to open this up again. So this has been running dry a bit, but it should be fine. There's still a bit of sand right here, so it didn't actually run dry. But also I forgot that we don't want 2 pixels yet until we have everything finished. So let's block this off. Also, I think this looks better, but this might be better because of inconsistencies. And this might get stuck sometimes, so let's do it like this. Alright, so now we have all of this space available. So let's use it. Petals are falling down here. From this belt we said we need about 3 pixels height of red sand. So I think what we are gonna do is move these beds like that, and we could actually just copy some of this. Yeah, somewhat like this. We can close this off. And this should kind of already be fine. Now we have 3 pixels of red sand coming here. And our petals are coming from here. So let's start somewhere around here with a belt. We launch the red sand up and also the amethyst. Let's build the belt maybe until here and launch it even further. What height do we need? Maybe 2 space. Yeah, somewhat like this. And 3 launchers right here should be more than enough. Alright, so basically this is gonna be our shaker. Where do we want the next belt? Around here. So just to get a bit more height, let's maybe copy this one more time, like that. I have to block this off. We might want to change this later, but let's keep it for now. Also, this was like for the cinder that we throw up there, so we can remove this as well. Red sand is the heaviest, so if there's overflowing red sand, we gonna remove it here and drop it down. So let's let red sand through. 2 should be enough. And maybe build at least a bit of a box. What we need now is to preferably get the red sand into the cycle again that is coming from up here. So how do we actually want to do this? If we build it like that, it's gonna drop down right here. So if we make it like this, build a belt below and launch it up right here, we then should be fine if we close this up. This up here should now have priority. At least I hope so. If not, maybe we have to change some things, but yeah, let's just hope it works. Also, I don't like this being that way. So let's just do it the other way around. The next one is gonna be a bit tricky because Void Bloom is lighter than amethyst. So we do have to make sure that amethyst won't be too much in the system. So Void Bloom is gonna drop down here. Maybe we do one more. Allow Void Bloom. And this should do the trick. We then launch the rest up here. Okay, actually one higher. And this should only be amethyst. Maybe a bit of Void Bloom. We might have to see if this is working, but it should be good for now. Alright, so this is our mixer. Eventually I'm gonna put importers here, but just for the beginning I would say we are gonna use flux emanators. I'm not sure if these are gonna be enough even. So maybe to be safe, we are gonna put an importer right here. Alright, so this should pretty much be it. So let's get this going, I would say. We first want to block everything off. So block these up here. Block all the gold off. block the cinder and also block the red sand. So this hopefully should be it. So we will need more sand. So now we can open up this and let this stack up to 2 pixels height. So once this gets up here, this will fill up until it's like up to here. So this will need a while. Until then, we won't have enough gold, but we can get more gold out of our storage. So let's do this right now. We don't need this anymore. Gold is coming to here and filling this up. Eventually, we want a security importer here. So gold shouldn't fill up, but just in case. Also, we will now open up the sand coming here. And we will launch it up here and can get rid of this. And it's getting launched all the way to the top. So right now the factory is running dry, so we might want to help it out with our exporters. So let's actually get some sand here. Also, I'm realizing we will need a lot more sand down here. In fact, we will need 8 pixels of sand. So this is like 2 belts high, and yeah, so we might need more space. Actually, okay, I built all this just to get rid of it. We will need a belt here. And we can remove all this because, yeah, this is gonna be exactly too height. At least it should be exactly too height. To maybe make a bit more room, we have to adjust this. So luckily we have one more tile down here. So get rid of this line. And one launcher won't be enough, I would think. Maybe 2 won't be enough as well. Maybe we will need 3. So give it 2 more space. And this is a bit of a problem. We can move this to here, make this a launcher. But we will in fact need, yeah, so if we want this to be wider, we have to make something like that. So let's remove most of the sand again. Yeah, something like that. Maybe should have blocked this off as well. Okay, so it's gonna be fine. And in fact, we will need more space up here, so let's just do it. So this is like the minimum space. Actually do this for now so that we can copy this. But now this should be fine. So this is filled up now. I guess we could get rid of this. We're gonna leave it for now. We're just gonna have to make sure that this won't get stuck here. So what can we do? Block only snow. Move it all the way to the left, and just as security, we are gonna put this right here so we won't have too much sand in here. Alright, and I think we should do it like that. Will this work better? I think so. Alright, gold is filling up, sand is filling up. We are a bit short on cinder and red sand. So until we fill the rest up, I won't release the cinder and red sand yet. Also right here we want a security importer, because for now I have put the ratio a lot higher than it needs to be. The ratio to put cinder into red sand, because we are gonna have to create a bit of cinder and red sand first. So is our water still fine? Do we still have water in the exporter? Yeah, a bit, but only a bit. And now that there's more sand coming through, it all will need more water. So I actually do want to start putting the amethyles right here. And I think what we then want to do is block these two off for now, because one should be more than enough. And we are gonna remove these. And hopefully this will help with our water supply. Pretty sure we can block this off now. And there it goes. And this is at least working as intended, because exactly one line of amethyles is getting turned into ash. Alright, so let's start filling up these with red sand. And also fill these up with cinder. So we can help these a little bit. don't put too much onto it. This might have already been too much, but it should be fine. Alright, and at least I hope this should all be working fine. So I would say let's start filling this up with cinder and red sand. And here we go. So red sand is coming. We are waiting a bit for the cinder. And also later for the gold, because we want a bit of lava in here. Okay, so let's open up the cinder. And right here, this should be half of a tile, half of a belt. Or this should be half of a pixel. And we are actually creating lava, but I believe we need more cinder in here than red sand. So let's actually stop this for just a second and pull out this red sand. Alright, let this fill a bit up with cinder so that we don't get the same problem again. And right here we already have our lava. So we can now open up our gold coming into here. Alright, the first gold is coming and liquid gold is getting produced. And now you can also see, I mean, yeah, maybe a bit less wet spore. This looks kind of awkward, but yeah, it's somewhat looking like a flower, I would say. So this is filling up. Oh, we now have to get our sand in here so there won't be too much of liquid gold. And here we have our first cinder. So maybe stop this again for just a second. But at least it looks like it's working. Oh yeah, we are having gold in here because we have been blocking this off. So, but this should be enough cinder. And this is now filling up with sand, which is not good. So I really should have made this a bit more spacey, but yeah, I guess it's kind of fine. We can remove this gold, put it back up here. Also want to stop the sand again. Maybe not every single. Oh, and we have a problem up here because I put the ratio so high that the red sand is actually getting pushed up here. So let's stop this for just a second. And actually we might have to stop everything. Suck this up into the importers. Also all of this maybe. Okay, I think we have all the lava removed. So actually I have to pause this for just a second to make the ratio a bit less. Oh yeah, there's lava being created down here already also. And this is filling up as well. Okay, so quickly change all the values before this is too big of a mess right here. Yeah, block this off as well. Okay, so see you in a second. Alright, so we are back and hopefully this is now working. Okay, so there was a bit of lava created. Well, I don't know, this is not working as it should have been. We might have to block off everything again. Let's keep a bit of cinder going because we will need the cinder here. Okay, we haven't blocked everything of these off. I think this should be fine now. Yeah. Okay, so what's the issue here? Okay, so now it seems to be working. Yeah. This is looking good, while this is not looking too good, I would say. So let's soak these up down here. We will get rid of the methyles in the normal way a bit later, but for now, until we have this fixed, we might have to leave it like that. So actually stop this for a second and let's see if this is working up here. And yes, it seems it does. So how much cinder do we have left? We have 5,000 red sand, 3,000 cinder. So this is enough that we can actually open these back up. Also open the red sand back up. And I would say start with the gold and also start with the sand. Oh no, I messed up. I really should have made this a bit bigger. And I guess we have to soak this up for a bit. Yeah, somewhat like this. So copy this again. But now it should actually be fine. So, cinder, we have the right value. Red sand, we have the right value. Cinder's now going through. This is blocked off for now because we have to duplicate the cinder. So why is this stuck here? Maybe let's do it like this. Maybe also like this. Can this transport enough? Hopefully it can. I mean, this should be like 12 pixels of cinder, which is 3 belts. We have 1, 2, 3. Yeah, more than 3 are coming out right here, so this should be enough. Yeah, this is stabilizing, this is stabilizing. This also seems to be fine. Right here, everything's working. This is fine. We have a lot more metals. Okay, so it's getting kind of stuck right here. So maybe put the launcher here. Don't really know if this is really helping. At least it seems to be helping. Gonna have to look at this again, but we don't need this line down here, so we could give it a bit more space. We could put it down here and it will be fine. But this seems to be not enough at all. It's not getting transported fast enough. So what actually is the issue? Okay, so it's not moving. I think this is the problem. So let's now remove this and let's see if this changes anything. So maybe what we can do for now is put the importer right here and put an exporter with a metals here. So we can actually use the system. Because now we are getting red sand into here. This is still way too much. We are gonna have to remove some of this liquid gold again. But at least, yeah, but at least this is stabilized. Oh, so we have these here. Maybe put this here, so if it falls down, yeah, it falls onto this belt. Now this is mostly watching if everything is working fine. Maybe could we change this? We could maybe do something like that. And hope this is gonna make a difference. I don't really see a difference right away. I mean, yeah, okay, it's getting out, I would say, I would think. So yeah, this was the right decision because there's a lot of sand coming here now, which we are not using because we have this, so maybe we can get rid of this. This seems to be working, but I might want to have this a bit further down. So let's do this for now and copy this. And if we do that, it should be fine. Also remove this. Yeah, this should be full, and we could now open this. Okay, so we will need let's block it off. We don't want a methyles down here. So let's copy these for a second, and we also okay, we can't do this, so how do we want? Okay, so block this off for just a second. Remove all of that. Open that up. And allow only ash, like right here somewhere. Alright, now we should be able to open this up. And we can also build this again. I'm a bit worried, by the way, what's happening on the left side. Everything's still fine. I mean, this is not creating lava, which is very nice. This is also filled up, so we can remove these. What's happening down here? This is totally fine now. This is also fine. This is working great. So we actually came back to no chaos. Oh, so this is a bit of a problem. Maybe then what we want to do is allow only red sand right here. Yeah, because we had red sand here. So this is also, I don't know why there's lava here. Maybe because this was stuck, so get this lava out by blocking this off for a second, because we actually don't have the right values. Yeah, Cinder's going back by quite a bit because this is not working. Okay, so the lava is gone. We can remove these actually. Or maybe not, because this is not filled until here, so maybe cinder. We don't have too much cinder left. Okay, so this is now filling up with lava again. So how do we actually want to do this? Also, this is now, the white bloom is now going through. So let's fill this up with importers until we have a bit of a bit of fluxite right here. So do this like that for now. And we have to figure something else out for here. But first, let's see if everything else is working. I think we want these belts down a bit more. Maybe like here. Also, I guess, yeah, I think, yeah, before it should have been fine also, but the launches might have been the issue. Well, so what is the issue right here? I mean, this should be, yeah, this should actually now be enough sand. It's not overflowing. This is stuck for a bit, but it should stabilize at some point. Maybe we can even keep the lava in here because it's actually not really an issue, I guess. Also, I would say, yeah, this is kind of stabilized now, so we can get all of the methyles out again. Maybe still want an importer, like, I don't know. I mean, the methyles is falling down here everywhere. Maybe put the importer right here. Okay, so I think this lava is getting more and more. So what we might want to do is only put the right amount of red sand into here. Okay, so this is filled up, so we can actually get rid of this. Yeah, this is gonna fill up. Cinder is getting into here. So this is still fine. It's maybe, yeah, we could have a bit more cinder in here, but that is fine for sure. This is still working, so although we have still some problems, like we have to figure out what is happening with this lava right here, but we can already see this is already infinite. So these are the exact values we need and nothing is causing problems in here. Just one or two things to figure out. Also, what is this in here? Why and how did sand get in here? I don't know. Oh yeah, maybe it got down here. So what could we actually do? We could filter sand. we don't really have space for that, but we could do it later. By the way, our factory up here, I would say it's looking good. Oh yeah, the ash that has gotten there can't get back in there again, so let's do it like this and block it off for now. Yeah, and this is working fine. At least this is working, yeah. Mixer also seems to be working. I mean, values are not quite right. I mean, I guess that's what we could do right away. Maybe, yeah, maybe I want to soak all of this up before I'm gonna do that. So one thing I wanna do is I want to block this off and suck the cinder in right here, but also get all of this stuff out. So we block this off, so a methylese is gonna be overflowing in a second again, but everything else should be fine for a second. So I have to quickly adjust the values again, because now that we have enough cinder and red sand, yeah, nearly 10,000, also cinder, yeah, 6,000 again, so we can do the final adjustment with the red sand or the cinder into red sand conversion rate. So see you in a second. Okay, so here I am once again. Okay, I did the last change of our values, at least I hope so. So the conversion rate of cinder into red sand now should be about 0.45 or 43. Well, I just did it and I can't even remember anymore. So about 0.4, between 0.4 and 0.5. I'm gonna show the exact values later. But everything should be working fine now. Yeah, this is working fine. This should be stabilizing, at least if we get enough water. So water is empty. Which might cause some problems. Water in our tank also empty. So I don't know. This definitely will cause problems. And not having enough water. So what can we actually do to get more water? So in the end, I really have to duplicate water. Actually, let me just see if I can fix this somehow. Because not having enough water is like a really big issue. I mean, we are not using that much water as we did before, but it's still not enough. This is kind of bad. Alright, so the quickest solution I found is just to enable cheat mode for portals and yeah, get like infinite water. So we will have infinite of everything. So, but these are the values we have collected right now, if you're interested. And yeah, I'm just gonna make everything going to be infinite because I really don't want to dupe water. Okay, so it is now active and we now have everything infinitely. So what we are gonna do now is we can leave this like here. We had a bit of petals, so we leave it like this. There's some coming out, but eventually we want to stabilize this and just remove all of that. So to not cause too many problems, we now gonna use our infinite water to stabilize our system. To make this more like reliable. Okay, no, so actually we could leave these pumps in here. I think it should be fine. So we actually had sand in here. We don't want sand in there. So what we could do is make something like that. Let's say up to here. And then we can place filters, allow selected element through sand. And sand is heavier than cinder, so it should fall to the ground and get down here. So this is getting stuck now, so we have to be careful. Actually, just plug in some of these right here. But we still have to solve our problem that we had with the cinder. Or more like the cinder getting converted into red sand. I mean, up here it's fine. Somehow I don't really understand why this is the case. Maybe if we have lower value. I mean, let's just try it again. And just to see if it's actually working. Let's just get some cinder. We had enough cinder, so let's just get it into here. Also to help it, to make it a bit faster. Get some red sand into here and fill this up. So I would say let's just open it up and leave it like this for just a second. Maybe it's solved because we are using less space, but I'm not super sure. Maybe we need to figure out something else. Well, I think shakers might not be enough because red sand is going down, so we might need a bit more shakers. How do we want to do this? I think we get rid of a bit of this stuff and put the shakers, 2 more, maybe 3 more. Let's build 3 more. Block only snow for here. And yes, now we are creating lava. So let's soak this up once again. And now let's see if we get enough red sand. Okay, so there has been lava created again. I don't know why. So is this fine now? Okay, I guess this should be working now, hopefully. And this is in fact enough, because this is 3 belts now and stabilizing. Okay, so let's check for a bit how everything is looking. Maybe also this, this is now a bit destroyed, so let's try to fix it. Get an flux emanator here, and this should grow now. Yeah, it is growing. Okay, so this will fix it, and the rest is gonna go into the portals. Also, how is the factory looking up here? This all seems to be consistent. Everything is working fine. So yeah, put back in the security cinder storage, but this actually looks very good. So this is like unchanged for such a huge amount of time. It's still working. It's the right values coming through. Cinder's not moving. This is totally working as intended. And also we can see sand has gone back a bit, but I think that is the case because we had not enough water and things up here are still kind of stabilizing. So yeah, let's see how this is evolving. So as long as it doesn't get stuck under here, maybe we can give it a bit more space just to see what's going on. So block only snow. And like here. And yeah, why not do the same as we did earlier? Block only snow. So kind of if we put the importer right here. So this whole thing is getting full, and if it's overflowing, it's going into the portal. But like that, we can see better if the sand is getting more or is getting less. So I think we can remove this as well, so we can see what's going on with the petals. Also, just to maybe give it a bit more space, we could do something like that. And put launchers here. And by doing this, we can give that a bit more space. So we have a lot of space left, and we can see if petals are getting more or are they getting less. Also, maybe this should be fine. Put a launcher here. Because, yeah, these still are petals, so we gotta have to be careful. Yeah, all of this is working fine. This also hasn't got any higher or lower, so yeah. There's a few things we are gonna have to look at if we want to really have an infinite factory. First thing is gonna be this, if this is filling up or emptying out. Another thing is if this is gonna empty out or fill up. Also the gold, but the gold is like stabilized to that point for, I don't know for how long now. So, but also we have to take a look at this, if this is getting higher or lower. And this should pretty much be it. If none of these three is getting emptied out or filling up, maybe like petals as well, but yeah. So yeah, but if nothing is gonna fill up or emptied out, we are gonna have the right values and an infinite factory. So where is a nice spot to watch all of this? If we are like right here, we can, or maybe right here, then we can see the factory on the left side. Also, we can see if sand is getting emptied out, and we can also see the cinder and the amethyst. So we pretty much can see everything. I mean, we can't see the gold, but I think that's fine for now. So I'm gonna let this run for a bit, and we will see if this is truly infinite or not. Let me use this time lapse to try to explain how I did the math. At the start, we are putting 2 sand into the factory. These 2 sand are getting converted into 4 wet sand. 4 wet sand are also 4 slag and 1 gold. These 4 slag are getting burned into 1 burnt slag. 1 burnt slag is 1 spore, also 1 gold, and 1 spore is getting combined with water and turns into 1 wet spore. 1 wet spore then are getting converted into 4 amethyst and 1 gold in the planter boxes. So in the end, we will have a total of 4 amethyst and 3 gold produced. I chose to turn 1 of the amethyst into ash and keep 3 amethyst as it is. That 1 ash is then getting converted into 2 sludge, and 2 sludge are getting burned into 2 waste. To know what conversion rate we need of waste into sand, we first have to take a look how much 3 gold will be in our factory. Because these 3 gold are a fixed value, I used it to orient our mixer values. So 3 gold needs 3 lava, and 3 lava is getting created out of 1.5 cinder and 1.5 red sand. Out of 3 gold and 3 lava, we get 6 liquid gold. 6 liquid gold need 6 sand to create 12 cinder. That means we will need 6 sand for our mixer and 2 sand to put in our factory, which in total is 8 sand. We only have 2 waste, so I divided 8 sand by 2 waste, which is 4. So the ratio of our waste turning into sand is 4x. Now we also need to find out what ratio we need for cinder turning into red sand, which is a bit more complicated. We are creating 12 cinder in our mixer, but from these 12 cinder, we need 1.5 cinder to get back into the mixer. So we have a total of 10.5 cinder that we can use. We also need to find out how much red sand we need. We have 3 methyles, which needs 3 red sand to get converted into white bloom. We also need 1.5 red sand to combine with our cinder in our mixer. So we will need a total of 4.5 red sand. To get our ratio, we now only have to divide 4.5 red sand by 10.5 cinder, which I rounded to 0.43. Now we have all the values we need, and math is finally done. Alright, so it has been, I think, about 40 minutes. So I don't have a lot more time, so this shall be it. Sand, yeah, it looks pretty much stabilized. It's not getting more, it's not getting less. How is all of this looking? Whole factory seems to be fine. No problems at all. So this kind of fixed itself. I don't know if it would be fine with the lava right now, but yeah, this has stabilized. Hemaphiles, yeah, like the pile that we had like down here is now here on top, but yeah, it's pretty much the same, so it has not gotten more or less. So yeah, this is stable too. Also the gold, I mean, you can pause and skip back, but I don't know if this has gotten more or less. It is pretty much the same. Right here, everything is working. No petals are getting stuck. Everything is getting converted. And all of our flower burners. Very cool. So, yeah. Not much more to say, I guess. This is it. This is our infinite factory. It ran for 40 minutes. I think it can run a lot longer. But I just don't have the time to let this game run. So, yeah. At least for multiple hours you can let this run. I mean, nothing really changed. This stabilized, I don't know, this might be getting less or not, I don't know. This, I mean, yeah, literally everything looks very stable. And yeah, our huge factory mixing thing in the middle here, it worked super well. We didn't have to interfere a single time. Or at least we didn't have to interfere once it was running. When we still had to adjust the values, it was a bit clunky, but yeah, it works as intended. It's super fine, it's super satisfying. And we keep it like this. It's infinite, we did it. I'm very proud. And yeah, here we go. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this journey. Especially to you for watching it till the end. Also a huge thanks to all the mod and map creators. It wouldn't have been possible without them. Also, in case you didn't know, mod creators have gone crazy and completely changed the way how modding works for Sandustry, making much more things possible. So make sure to join the Lanto Games Discord and check it out. And now, not much more to say. I've had so much fun creating this playthrough, and I hope you did as well watching it. See you next time, but for now, have a wonderful rest of your day.